Hello again, this is Randy back in the shop today. Had a little bit of a break. I had a couple of jobs that I had to get done right away and I didn't film them. And then 2 weeks ago with the cold weather we had, and I don't know why it did it, but I had some pipes freeze in the house. And I don't really know why it happened. I mean, I've been living here a long time, and this is the first time it's ever happened that I can recall. But anyway, and I got that fixed. No big deal. What I'm working on here is making a magnetic transfer block for the surface grinder. Not a lot of information out there on doing it. There's ones where guys will take a block of aluminum and drill a bunch of holes through it and put nails in the aluminum and then surface grind it. But there's not a lot where you do it in segments like this here. There's only one video I found on YouTube, and that was from like 11 years ago. And so I thought, well, I'll give it a try, see what it does once. So I got a bunch of blocks of steel here that I surface ground to the right thickness. I have some 1/8 inch brass. It's 3 inches wide, and the brass is a little bit longer than the pieces need to be, and these pieces are not to the final height yet. They're just roughed in. And I got some soldering paste here from McMaster-Carr. And what this stuff is supposed to be able to do is you spread it on each side of these brass plates. You lay it on top of your metal plate, and you sandwich it all together, and then you heat it up, and it will fuse all these parts together. I've seen where guys will talk about doing it with aluminum, and then they'll drive aluminum rods through. They'll put some countersink holes in the end of the plate here. They'll countersink their holes in the end here, and then they drive the aluminum in, and they will paint it over, then machine it, and then surface grind it. I don't know how well that would work, but I could only find one video on YouTube of a guy making one like this here, and it was a 4-part video. He got them all made. He got his block made. He was going to make some V blocks, and he got it made, got it rough machined, and that was the 4th part, and that was the end of it. So I never did see how it turned out. But so anyway, I'm gonna give it a try, see what it does. So these parts here now are all good to be put together. I'm going to put the paste on and then take a C-clamp, clamp this all together. Then I'm going to take and put it in a barbecue grill and heat it up to 300 degrees. And that should allow this soldering paste to melt in between and fuse all this together. What I'm going to do first here is I'm gonna rough up this surface on all these. Here I got some 500 emery paper, and I'm just going to rough up this surface here. On all these. And then I'm going to take and clean them good with acetone. Then I'm going to put the paste on. clean them like that there. Just run that over the top of there. All right, I got all these cleaned up. Now I'm gonna wipe them down with some acetone here. And we'll get ready to apply the paste to them. The soldering paste that I got from McMaster-Carr, I found relatively the same thing on Amazon, but the supplier of it wouldn't sell to the US, so I couldn't buy it. So it was a little bit cheaper. Soldering paste is lead free, and you can use it for plumbing and everything, so we'll see if it's going to work for this. All right, those are all clean. Now I'm gonna put a little bit of the paste on. This stuff is like the consistency of like a Play-Doh type stuff. All right, there's one. I'm gonna get these all put together here, and okay, I got this all clamped together now, and I squared it up the best I could. This extra here I'm gonna have to machine off, but I'm gonna go light the grill and we'll see what happens. Well, I got it all soldered together. I left it in the barbecue grill for about an hour and a half, and it got up to 300 degrees, but it wasn't melting. So then I brought it in the garage here, and I took the torch. I had to get it up to about 450 degrees, and then the solder started flowing. A couple of the blocks shifted a little bit, so I don't know if it's going to be any good or not. I guess we'll find out. But I'm just taking the fly cutter. I'm going over the bottom of it here, and truing that up, and then I'm going to take a close look at it and see what it looks like. So let's make a couple cuts here. so far I've taken 24 thousandths off the bottom of it here. We'll see how good it gets here. I left 50 thousandths to machine off of it, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Doesn't look like it. Lower this down a little bit more here. Another 4. Square the bottom of it up, and then we'll see, flip it over, and then we'll have to do the top, and we'll see how that comes out. We need a little bit more. Take another 4 here and see what it does. That's got 90% of it cleaned up. flip it over here and deburr this edge and this edge here. I'm going to flip it over and we'll do the top. That was 200,000, so I'm going to take another 100. It should be close. That's 300 right there.
Oh, not too bad. These sides are really well. All right, I'll change part here.
See what we got here. All right, I'm going to stop this here and I'm going to back up and I'm going to take a measurement. Well, let's see where we're at here. (2" 991. I don't know how much more we got to go there yet. Roughly 20 thousandths. Well, let's take another 10. intention was to make a 3-inch block and cut a 2-inch and a 1-inch piece. That way I'd end up with a 2-inch and a 1-inch transfer block, but I don't think that's going to work. I don't know, we'll see. That one cleaned up. See how much one we got to go here. Feels really close. Well, it is what it is. I'm just gonna go until it cleans up and I can always make another one. All I gotta do is get some more brass. I got enough flat stock I could cut up, but I don't have enough brass flat stock. But worst comes to worst, I'll just get some more. I'll go to the local scrap place and pick some more up and be done with it. All right, shut this off. Just touching there. So I'll take another 10. Just starting the third side now. This side and this side over here are done. Well, let's see what we can do. All right, I got this side done. Got a little spot right here that didn't clean up, but I don't want to take any more off it for now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over, and we're going to do the bottom side here. Make sure that that's all deburred good. Feels like it is. Let me grab a file. Okay. Clean this all out good. Okay. Let's see how square this is. Pretty close. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get a roughing end mill out, and I'm just going to go across this surface because this one here is sticking up a long ways. Alright, here we go. Knock this table down. All right. Yeah, I'll take another 10 off of here. See how it looks. Okay. All right, I got this side all milled off, so I'm going to make a pass over it with the fly cutter, and then I'm going to cut it. Get this side cleaned up, and then I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to measure it and figure out which side I want to cut. I was hoping to end up with a 2-inch and a 1-inch piece, but I don't know if it's going to work out that way. deburr these two corners here, and I'll be back. All right, I got these roughed in, these blocks roughed in here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to the surface grinder, get this ground up. It's pretty square already. Set that over here like this here, and then shine it here. See a little bit of light here on this edge, on this back edge here. I don't know how much that is, probably a couple thousandths maybe, but let's head on over to the surface grinder. We'll get these ground up, and yeah. All right, I've had the surface grinder going for a few minutes here, warming up. Let's see how close this thing is here. So it's got to come down a little bit. I'm going to drop it down 1,000. See if it touches. Not quite. Move this over here a little bit. There we go. Just touch there. I'm going to set this at 0. I'm going to drop it down 1,000. Here. All right, start the coolant. Now we gotta come back up here. There. I knew this side wasn't very square. That's why I turned it this direction, because the bottom it's sitting on is pretty good. Now we'll drop this down 1/1000 of an inch here. And go over it again. Alright, I about got this side finished up. This should be the last grind on this side here. Go over it again, let it spark out, and it should be done. I'm feeding across about 40 thousandths at a time. right. That side's all done. And I'll see you at the bench when I have the rest of it finished. Well, there it is. It's all done. And it seems to work. I mean, I can't slide that. I mean, I could barely move it. It holds good enough to you know, you'd be able to surface grind something on it without it flying off. I mean, you could move it if you really pull on it hard, but I think it turned out pretty good. So, well, there you have it. It's the transfer blocks are all done. Something I can put in the toolbox. I don't know if I'll ever need them, but if I do, I got them. One thing, if you're going to do this, what I ended up doing after I cut this piece off, this one came apart. And I think there just wasn't enough solder in between these segments here, because I had it clamped together with a C-clamp really tight to all keep it in place. So I cleaned them all off, and I redid this one. I cleaned them all off good with a Scotch-Brite wheel, and applied the soldering paste to it again. And then what I did is I put them on some fire brick, and I took some angle plates and put up against it, try to hold it in line as best I could, and then I heated it up good from the top until the heat transferred all the way through to the bottom. I could see this liquid solder coming out the joint in the bottom here, and that worked. But clamping them together with that C-clamp like I had, it just pushed the solder out. It wasn't tight enough. It was too tight. There wasn't enough solder in between the joint to hold it together. Just a little bit of information for you. Probably would have been easier to make this and then drill it and put some brass rods through and just paint it over and then machine it that way. But I seen this on YouTube. There's a gentleman on there from like 11, 12 years ago who had it was a 4-part video. He never did finish the video of it. He was making some angle blocks. So I thought, well, I'll give it a try, see once what happens. And I thought if that didn't work, where I just let the weight sit on it and heated it up from the top and didn't clamp it together, if that didn't work, it wasn't going to work. But it did. So that's my recommendation. If you decide to make these, to apply the solder paste in between the layers and set it up flat like this here, like this. And when you heat it, just let the weight push the solder out rather than clamping it. I was hoping to get a 3x2 inch piece out of this here, and I was going to cut a 1 inch piece off and have a 1 inch block. But I've got a 1 inch block. This one here is like probably 1 3/4 inches, something like that, maybe a little less. But make your stock at least 1/4 inch oversized. These pieces of steel and your brass, make them 1/4 inch big, and that way you got plenty to machine it off. Anyway, hope everybody's having a good holiday. Merry Christmas to everybody. And I want to give a shout out to Steve Watkins. He's got a YouTube channel. I don't know what happened, but he's in the hospital, and he's not in a very good way, that I know of anyway. So if everybody could just stop by his channel and maybe give him a hello and wish him Merry Christmas, I'm sure he'd appreciate it. And that's going to be it for now. So have a great day, and we'll see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.